Hello, trading is closed on November 12th, 2019. Let's go over our calls. We said yesterday today's pattern had the early high, and there it is. We found Monday's pattern confusing. He didn't want to make any call beyond that. It was a semi-holiday session. I wasn't certain how relevant it was. Now, the day on Friday had mixed signals, and typically Monday you would have seen either a gap in the fast move outside the day's range, which didn't happen, or a closing little change within 4 points, and that didn't happen. Well, the close Friday was 30.93.08. The open today was 30.89.29. Today's open can act as a substitute for yesterday's close, and that's within 4 points, and it kind of puts things back where they belong. You can call it a miss, or you can call it close, or you can say that the open today was a substitute for yesterday's close, and it worked. Anyway, we had mixed signals again after yesterday's trade, something bullish, something bearish, and we gapped and promptly traded outside the day's range. So that worked again. Trying to close this without much luck. Well, that's not right, is it? There we go. Well, during the day, MEJT was rallying. SPX was rallying strongly, hitting new highs. MEJT said ultimately lower price it would print, and they did. Here we got pretty much the minimum. Usually we get more than that. The afternoon it said this drop would retrace. It was a false move. Said this rally was a false move. Ultimately lower price it would print. They did. Now it says this drop is false. Targets 30.96.66, most likely to print by tomorrow. Now these things can fail when you're near trend extremes, and I think we're pretty close. But unless we gap down tomorrow, I'm going to make that my call. And if we gap down smartly, the call is killed before the open. Standard rule. Well, we hit a new high, then we closed under all these prior highs. That's a rejection of the high. The fact that we closed not only under all these highs, but also under some lows isn't good. Doesn't mean we have to drop tomorrow, but it's a sign this is not an impulsive move up. And since we're still in the consolidation, at some point, can't say where for certain yet, at some point you have to have a wave C down to complete the pattern. We've been trying to find it, and I think we're getting close. Well, this is the count we have. I think today's rally didn't take out this old high by enough to invalidate the ratios. If you make this magenta A, you can see you're still close enough so that magenta C is a fib ratio. Of course, it doesn't have to be. It's starting to look more and more like a rising wedge. I don't think we have a lot more to go, but until we reverse under some of these lows, no law says we can't go higher. But Wednesday's pattern has the early low. Doesn't mean you won't gap up first. We have a higher target unless we gap down smartly. That's my call for tomorrow. We hit a new all-time high, but transports dropped 70 points. We couldn't hold it. This is the type of confirmation you get at the top. I think we're at an area where a top could occur at any time, but until we undercut some prior lows, we can't be certain it's in. Now, I came up with this November 14th date many months ago. I'm hoping it works, the date of the high. If it comes earlier, I'm not going to be too unhappy because there is somewhat of a tolerance. Today's high actually works fine, but if we go slightly higher, it actually fulfills a few other patterns based on somebody else's work. But the general idea is this leg shouldn't have a lot more to go, or else the wave count I have is going to be invalidated, and we'll have to look for targets at higher prices. So somewhere around this time, somewhere around this price, I'm looking for this to end, and we'll know it when we undercut these lows. And if that happens, we could have close to a 300 handle drop. Doesn't have to be, but that's the potential. So tomorrow's pattern has the early low, could gap up first, slightly higher target. We're going to be looking for this rally to reverse pretty soon in terms of time and pretty soon in terms of price, and that's today's call.